Millions are drained from hotel operating budgets every year on the same strategy, dropping room rates and renovating physical spaces to win back disappearing guests. This chart shows the exact disconnect. Look at the line for capital expenditure climbing aggressively upward. Now look at the line for returning guests. It remains flat, refuses to budge. The budget is spent, but the guests still aren't coming back. People rarely abandon a property because the resort down the street offered a room for $20 less. They'd leave because of a silent, almost invisible emotional failure that happened during their stay. The biggest threat to hotel profitability comes from the inside. It happens the moment operators confuse a simple financial transaction with an actual emotional connection. Psychologists call this the asymmetry of memory, how the human brain processes temporary environments like hotel rooms. Within minutes of checking in, the brain habituates to the physical space. It quickly registers and then discards physical data points like the square footage. This timeline shows how a hotel stay is recorded. Physical attributes register as flat, continuous frequencies, but human interactions, like a warm greeting, spike sharply. Months later, deciding on a return visit, physical data fades completely to black. The brain exclusively consults this emotional ledger. Since the return visit is dictated by this emotional record, the physical property acts as a stage where the actual hospitality performance occurs. Consider a standard guest journey, starting before anyone even sets foot on the property. A pre-arrival booking inquiry goes unanswered for a day. That single delayed reply immediately instills a baseline level of anxiety and distrust. Then comes the arrival. Instead of a welcoming environment, the guest is met with a highly transactional and indifferent check-in process. The final break happens later that evening, a rushed, dismissive interaction with a staff member. This animated blueprint demonstrates the retroactive effect. Watch how a tiny red indicator, representing a single micro-moment failure at the foundation, flashes. Instantly, the entire structure above it glitches and collapses into dust. That negative interaction erases the perceived value of every expensive amenity. A 10-second bad interaction effectively renders a multi-million-dollar physical asset worthless in the mind of the guest. Elite operators understand this mechanism. They shift their primary focus away from pure revenue management systems and optimize directly for emotional connection. Through hospitality intelligence, smart properties deploy automation to handle the transactional baseline. Software takes over the fast replies, the check-in logistics, and the seamless tech integrations. The purpose of this automation is to free up human staff, giving them the margin to focus on empathy and personalized guest interactions. The traditional industry model treats staff as transaction processors. The successful model treats them as experience engineers. Over a long enough timeline, people will inevitably forget the physical rooms that were built for them, but they will never, ever forget how those experiences made them feel. The most intelligent hospitality brands focus on the long-term yield of these memories, recognizing that a guest's emotional state is the most accurate predictor of future revenue. Follow Hospitality IQ for smarter hospitality insights.